Good evening, folks, and a very, very warm welcome to you all. Thank you very much for joining us for Season 7 of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. The new look backdrop, but the same old format and the same old news, views, and all the interviews as well of the World Game here locally. My name's Tonchi Prusak. I'm your host and producer of the Geelong Region Soccer Show. It is very, very exciting that we have got the show up and running this year. For a while, things were a little bit tight, but we are back on track. And a massive, massive thank you to our major business advertising sponsors for 2025, Coerver Coaching Geelong and ADRIAN, LEIJER, and Just Turfing Instant Turf as well. Also, a big thank you to Birregurra General Store, who are once again are coming on board this year as well. And we've also got a new sponsor as well, new advertising sponsor, which will be unveiled next week. Now, speaking of ADRIAN, LEIJER from Coerver Coaching Geelong, later in the show tonight, we've got a very, very special interview with ADRIAN, former Socceroo himself. He knows a little bit about the development of young footballers, and with record numbers last year and this year, numbers expected to surpass last year's record and possibly hit as high as 7, maybe even 7,500 registered footballers in the region. Youth development is a big, big topic at the moment, and we'll be talking to him about Coerver Coaching Geelong, but also the region as a whole with regards to youth development. Now, someone else who has got his finger in the pie in so many, clubs and elements of the youth football and senior football circles here in Geelong is North Geelong Warriors assistant coach Sean Mann. He's also a teacher and a coach in the soccer specialist program at Western Heights Secondary College. His brother plays at Surf Coast, and he follows the fortunes there very well. He's a former assistant coach at Geelong Soccer Club, and he finished his playing career at Barnes Soccer Club. So he knows a little bit about the region. He'll be talking to us a little bit later on as well about his thoughts on football in 2025 in the Geelong region. So it's going to be a massive show without a shadow of a doubt. We're expecting a huge, huge show. But before we go on any further, a big shout out, as we said, massive shout out to Just Turfing Instant Turf. They came on board and signed up as our very, very first business advertising sponsor. They are a locally family-owned and operated company which guarantees top quality products and service. Whether you need turf for a small front garden or a large landscaping project, Just Turfing Instant Turf are the turf installer experts you can trust. For more information, contact either Chloe on 0431 571 558 or Josh on 0457 174 111. Thank you so much to the folks at Just Turfing Instant Turf. They were the first ones to jump on board. We really, really appreciate it. We're going to take a short break, a short commercial break. When we return, it's time for the news desk. And this, the Victorian Premier League 2 men's competition. And on the weekend, the Victorian Premier League women's competition kicked off. We'll have a little bit of footage from that. Don't go away, folks. It is the Geelong Region Soccer Show that you are watching. Fantastic service, food and coffee, well-stocked produce and groceries at very reasonable prices. 5 stars for the coffee served, beautifully made latte, everything you need in this wonderful little shop. Staff are always friendly and helpful, an absolute treasure to the community. These are just some of the glowing comments of praise by both regular and first-time customers of the iconic Birregurra General Store. The De Cunto family, well known in Geelong football circles, has run the iconic Country General Store since 2020, and apart from providing top quality service, they, along with their extremely pleasant and friendly staff, make sure that everything you could possibly need is well stocked and always available. Located at 59 to 61 Main Street in Birregurra and open all 7 days a week, the Birregurra General Store is open from 6am each weekday and 7am on weekends. If in Birregurra, pop in and say hello to Steve and Angus. Welcome back to the Geelong Region Soccer Show. And, on the weekend we had some footage from, and we've got some footage here of the Victorian Premier League competition. And we had North Geelong taking on Boroondara Eagles at Alco Park. And after taking a 2-1 lead, courtesy of two goals, it was the visitors that ended up leading 3-2. We're looking to steal an unlikely victory for his second goal. With a late penalty awarded 2-0 to the home side in front of a larger boisterous crowd. Saw Cassian Angel step up and really convert from the penalty spot.
Go with that, 10 minutes ago, mate.
Meanwhile, VPLW round 1 got underway with Geelong Galaxy travelling to Coerver Park Recreation Reserve to take on last year's NPLW relegated team Coerver United. It was Galaxy that took an early lead in the 6th minute when Diana Fresneda converged, pounced on a defensive error, slapped the ball away. Unfortunately for Galaxy, Coerver United managed to equalise, and in the end the result was 1-1.
All right, Calder, heads up.
In the other VPL2 game involving a Geelong team, Geelong hosted Werribee City and came away with a 1-1 draw at Winslow Park, formerly known as Stead Park. Tommy Semi scoring a goal. He's been in fine form last year, playing in the NPL competition for I think it was the Melbourne Knights last season, and he's now stepped down to VPL2. Geelong find themselves in fourth last position. A few unlucky results there, but they've got a very good side, and hopefully over the next coming weeks we'll be speaking to the coach of Geelong Soccer Club, Ante Mordic. North Geelong Warriors, they had a bit of a hiccup on the weekend drawing to Boroondara. They were looking to make it 3 home wins in a row. They've won 3 games at home and drawn 1. They've lost 1 on the road, and their first game of the season was that exciting and entertaining 2-2 draw, with Geelong Soccer Club in front of an estimated 2,000 fans. An incredible result that was. There's the graphic for the Geelong Galaxy Calder United game that was played on the weekend. And if we look at the summary there, 3-3 draw for the Warriors against Boroondara Eagles. Geelong Soccer Club 1-1, Tommy Semi scoring against Werribee City. They were the round 6 results. And Calder United, Diana Fresneda netting the Galaxy's only goal. Let's turn our attention to this weekend and the fixtures for round 7 of the Victorian Premier League 2 men's competition. On Saturday, Altona City host the Warriors at Kim Reserve. Kickoff there is at 3 p.m. Box Hill United will be taking on Geelong at the aptly named Wembley Park at 6:45 p.m. on Saturday evening. On Sunday, Geelong Galaxy host their first home game at their new home ground, Myers Reserve, and they'll be taking on Monash University at 3 p.m. in that round 2 fixture. Over the weekend, in fact, we had the Australia Cup round 3 matches. Last Thursday, I think it was, Coerver defeated Brunswick Juventus, a great result for the Geelong side. Brunswick Juventus in VPL2. Coerver in State League 1, of course, this year. Nonetheless, Coerver came away with a 2-1 result. Surf Coast defeated Kings Domain 4-1 on the weekend. Bell Park, unfortunately, lost to Clifton Hill 2-0. Bowen Soccer Club lost to Dallas City 5-0. And tomorrow night, in fact, Eltham Redbacks will host Geelong Soccer Club at the Eltham North Reserve. That game kicks off at 8 p.m. Hopefully, Geelong can get through to round 4. And North Geelong Warriors progressed through to round 4 without even kicking a ball after Berwick City forfeited. So it was registered as a 3-0 result for North Geelong Warriors. Well, this weekend, it's the start of the men's state league season, and how exciting it's going to be. Coerver have recruited extremely well and will be fighting for a promotion spot in State League 1. They open their season's account with a game at 5:15, a little bit later, against Yarraville. And in 2 weeks' time, they will try something different. Coerver will have a Sunday fixture, and Coerver Soccer Club is the first club in Geelong who have committed to an episode sponsorship. In 2 weeks' time, the whole episode will be devoted to the Coerver Soccer Club. So congratulations to Mario Gregorio, Football Operations Director, and Erica, the President there at the Hume Reserve Club. They will be featured in 2 weeks' time. Geelong Rangers travel to Partridge Street Reserve for a 3 p.m. kickoff against Mill Park in State League 2. Surf Coast will be making their debut in State League 3 Northwest when they travel to Partington's Flat to take on Diamond Valley United. And they too have recruited very, very well, looked very good in pre-season, taking out the pre-season Geelong Community Cup at Hume Reserve, and did so in quite emphatic fashion against the North Geelong Warriors under 23s. In State League 4, probably, arguably, without doubt, the most interesting division for the Geelong football community, because no less than 4 Geelong teams will partake in State League 4 West this year. Deakin Ducks open up the season with a home derby against Bowen Soccer Club at Deakin University Warm Ponds. If your team's not playing at that time or they're playing away, get yourself down to Deakin University. Kickoff there is 3 p.m. The newly promoted Ducks taking on Bowen. They renew old acquaintances from the State League 5 days, but this time it's going to be in State League 4. Melton Phoenix, they will be hosting Lara United at McPherson Park. And Lara United had such a convincing season last year in State 5. Coach Eric Lawrence has had another good pre-season with lots and lots of players turning up. And they'll be looking forward to a great start in the new State League 4 competition for them when they take on the always difficult Melton Phoenix, who some would say would be one of the favourites vying for the title this year. Bell Park, they've got a new coach. They've recruited very, very well. And their pre-season games have been quite patchy in the Australia Cup. But nonetheless, they've got a good chance to open up their season in victorious fashion when they host Melbourne City at the Bell Park Sports Club at the very later kickoff time of 6 p.m. So once again, if your team is not involved or has played early in the day, do get yourself over to Bell Park Sports Club. Fantastic facility, undercover should it be inclement weather. And they've got a magnificent social club there to boot. So get yourself over to the Bell Park Sports Club in Batesford for what should be a fantastic start to the State League 4 season. And last but certainly not least, Ocean Grove, they will be the lone Geelong team in State League 5 this year. They open their season's campaign with a home game against Wyndham FC, and that game kicking off at 3 p.m. We got so lots of football happening already from this weekend onwards. Folks, it's going to be an incredible season, and this weekend can't come soon enough. Now, we're going to take a very, very short break, and when we return, we will be catching up with Sean Mann, the North Geelong Warriors assistant coach, and he's also the teacher and coach of the soccer specialist program at Western Heights College. Don't go away, folks.
The world is yours. So work hard, and you can have whatever it is you want.
Welcome to the new season of the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast, and who better to have on than the assistant coach at North Geelong Warriors, and he's also one of the soccer specialist coaches at Western Heights College. He's got a brother that plays at Surf Coast, and he's also got his finger in the pie with a lot of other clubs in the region. Sean Martin. Sean, welcome to the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast.
Thanks, John Chief. Thanks for having me, mate. After a game and an event that we've got here at North Geelong.
Yeah, well, today's the Festa here at North Geelong Warriors, so it's a very festive occasion. Well, let's talk about the game on today. It was one of those 3-3 game against Burundara. Gus Chapman 2 goals and then a penalty late in the end with Cassian scoring from there as well. How did you see it from your perspective as assistant coach?
Oh, look, in the end, the boys dug deep and they, tried to get something out of the game. All credit to Burundara. They're a good side. They knocked the ball around well, and I think we, in moments matched them as well. But in the end, whoever scores the most goals wins the game, and I think we end up coming away today with a point, and we'll take that and be happy with it.
Now, 3 wins, 2 draws and a loss is a pretty good start to the VPL2 season, and it's probably what you wanted as a club. But there's been a couple of, I guess, the Geelong game round 1 and today as well, where there've been a few points dropped. Having said that, with a very young squad, a changed squad, you must be pretty happy at least for the first 6 rounds.
Yeah, I think I couldn't be happier with the lads, and it's amazing for the club as well to get a few wins on the board. And they're playing good football. We can always be better. We can always try harder. We can always push the boundary. And me and Beggsy will reflect on, and as we do every game. So, I think the biggest things, the boys are getting wins, and it's good for the club. The boys are in a positive mindset, which hopefully puts the club in a positive mindset as well.
And having Geelong, one of your former clubs, where you also were as assistant coach in the same division, geez, that first round, almost 2,000 people. What a game! What an atmosphere! How good is that for Geelong soccer?
Yeah, it's great for a region. Unbelievable. I think there was multiple fans from every club in Geelong that turned up for the game because they knew it doesn't happen often. I think the last time was 2019. And even back then as well, bumper crowds, big crowds as well. So it's great for the region. To have 2 teams in the same league. And just continue to bring those big crowds and hopefully put on a show each time they happen, those derbies.
Yeah, and speaking of great for the region, we've got the state leagues kicking off this weekend. Coerver looking good. They beat Brunswick Juventus, and then your brother's team, Surf Coast, have been looking really good, and MAHON, your original club as well, they're looking good. So it's quite an exciting period of time for Geelong soccer, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I went and had a watch of Coerver on Tuesday night, and they look very strong as well. So good luck to them. Surf Coast, my brother's there. Ash is there as well. They've got some really great players there. A lot of ex-MPL players from not only here but Geelong as well, and around sort of, Werribee region. And I'm sure they're pushing for promotion again, which would be awesome if they can get it. I'll probably pop that to a few games if they don't clash with us. But I know Ash is driving a strong culture there and a passionate culture, which is really positive. And I think they can. And there's probably a little bit of biasness because my brother is there, but hopefully they can, bring the league home again for that region and the Surf Coast region. And then looking through the other leagues, Rangers, we've had a lot of boys go to Rangers this year. You know, Rocker Ramage, Alex Morfitt, and Hugo Leban and Miles Foster have all left us and gone there to seek senior football.
Yep.
You know, and I hope they do well, and I'm sure they will. I know Darren's got them working well with some good support around him as well, which is real positive. You know, don't know too much about Barwon at the moment, but I know, you know, LEIJER have just got promoted, which is awesome for them. So as a region, we're really starting to build, you know, and it's actually given a lot of our younger MPL boys that have, you know, might not be cutting it at a senior level here or Geelong, and they've got good options to go to where they've got positive coaches, positive role models, and, you know, good older players around them to build them as well.
Now, one of the reasons I guess we've asked you to come on the first episode of the Geelong Region Soccer Show is to give that sort of global overview of the region. And who better to talk about the next upcoming, the next crop of young, talented footballers than yourself, because you get to see and work with a lot of those guys at Western Heights Secondary College. We've talked about the innovative soccer program. Now it's what, in its third year?
Third year, no, we're into our third year.
How's that coming along, and how's that? I mean, that must be for our region to have a school for both boys and girls where they can attend school, but the main reason is football.
To play football,
I mean, we must be seeing the already the fruits of that labour.
Oh yeah, you know, from a perspective of who runs the program in Joe Delitza, he runs a really tight ship, and then we have some really great coaches come in and support the kids, and you know, the kids are super lucky with what they get. They get, you know, our younger kids get nine sessions a week on, you know, with football. And, you know, hours touching the ball and in the gym. And then we, you know, do a lot of education sessions as well, which we can do a multitude of things in that, where we might watch some vision of them or professional teams, whatever it is. But, you know, we're seeing kids come through now. We've got a few coming through our senior ranks here at North Geelong, and there's a couple coming through at Geelong as well that are climbing the ranks there, which is amazing from our boys sectors. But then our girls as well, they are flying. Our current year 8s, last year's year 7s are state champions, which is amazing. We also took them to Fiji late last year. We come away with a win in Fiji, so, you know, they've won a little international tour. And we're just going to continue to build. You know, both boys and girls program are looking strong, and the main thing for them is they want to learn. So if they turn up every session wanting to learn, all Joey and myself and the other coaches are trying to do is just feed that information into them and just make them into not only good footballers but great people as well.
Yeah. And I believe the Geelong region is very lucky in that respect, in the fact that the Western Heights College, the soccer program, the football program, is all done within school hours, unlike some of the colleges in Melbourne who do it early, before school or after school.
Yeah, we are very lucky in that regard. You know, when you look at a timetable and you go, oh, I get to play football 9 sessions a week, or something to do with football for 9 sessions during the week, during your school time from 9 till 3, it's amazing, you know. And for the kids, it's no better place to be to improve your football and trying to get better in every aspect of the game, not only just footballing, but in the gym as well. We have some great professionals there that push them, work on their, you know, athletic ability as well, just to complement the football, which is amazing.
Now, mate, thanks so much for this interview. At the end of it, what would be your wish for the Geelong football region in 2025?
Just to have as many teams, you know, get promoted as possible. I think that's, you know, as an unbiased, you know, football fan, I think the more teams that we can promote and get higher up in the leagues, then we'll be a region, you know, that's really strong. And hopefully we can produce a few more professionals out of that. You know, I think that's the aim of should be the aim of every club, to try and move players on to bigger and better things. You know, across the region, I know we've got at least 10 players playing in academy football.
Yep.
You know, which is amazing for a region, and we've had already some past players go and play at World Cups, play in Europe, play in Champions League football, and that's great for the region back then. And now we just need a few more to come through and just keep the young players being bred through and try and build more and more.
Excellent. Mate, thank you so much for taking some time out. Really, really appreciate it. Wishing you all the best of luck, both here in North Geelong and at Western Heights College as well. All the best for 2025.
Thanks,
pleasure to welcome back as one of our major business advertising sponsors, Coerver Coaching Geelong and Director ADRIAN LEIJER. ADRIAN, thanks firstly for the ongoing support with the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. Without sponsors like yourself, we wouldn't be able to come out. So sincerely, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart.
No, thanks, Tonchi. It's again, it's great to be on board. We've known each other for a long, long time now, since the Victory days, and I love seeing what you do for the game in the local region, and to be able to support you, and I suppose also promote our business as well. It's I think it works well for everyone.
And speaking of your business, Coerver Coaching Geelong, geez, what a phenomenal 12 months it's been. The last 12 months, it just seems to have grown in so many different aspects. Let's have a look at 2024 and what were some of the highlights of Coerver Coaching Geelong.
Yeah, it was a huge year, and I think I went full time in January last year, so that gave me more time, more focus, and more energy to try a few different things, and think about doing things a little bit differently, look outside the square, and we had a fantastic year from our Performance Academy through to the Summer Cup, which was a huge success. We've sent a lot of kids have just been away to the Asia Pacific camp, and
we'll talk about that actually.
Yeah, the Geelong kids, they performed really well. They I was really proud of each and every one of them, how they adapted to what was a long 4 days, and even for us as a Coerver Coaching Geelong, we've come back and gone, hey, let's try and replicate that, and that's probably my biggest goal this year, to go and press on with that and really grow that, and hopefully becomes an annual event.
Yeah, the Performance Academy, we talked about it last year on several episodes about its birth and its intention to bring an elite level of coaching to the Geelong region. And there's been already some success stories from that. We'll mention that. But apart from that, the holiday camps just seem to go in a whole new direction. And on top of that, the weekly programs that you had both down on the Surf Coast at Geelong College. In fact, we're pre-recording this from Geelong College. So much has happened, not just in that performance, that elite level, but in so many other parts of the business, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing. We're not here just to cater for the elite kids. We're here to cater for everyone. And I say to the kids all the time, you might have dreams to be a Socceroo or a Matilda, or you might have dreams to go and play for your local club in Geelong, and that's completely fine. So whatever the level the kids are, I suppose we allocate them to groups and to genders, and we try and mix abilities and genders as much as we can to make sure that the kids are comfortable in their groups, and then we push them. Sometimes we drop them back just to give them some confidence. And all in all, now we have a really, really outstanding group of young coaches. They're an awesome bunch of young kids and a mix of experienced people like myself, but also junior coaches coming through. And my goal for this year is to really pump that coach education. I need that team of coaches to be able to spread ourselves around Geelong, Torquay, Ocean Grove, wherever we need to go. And the education that my coaches are getting is fantastic, and that's going to reflect on the quality they can deliver to the kids.
How do you go with that? How do you find coach education for your coaches firstly and foremostly? Because I know there's always been talk that we just don't get enough of that here in Geelong, whether it's a C licensed coaching courses, whether it's the other coaching courses as well. There just never seems to be enough of an opportunity to really invest in the coaches. How do you go about it? Now, you run this franchise, Coerver Coaching, but obviously it's a business as well. And as you said, you need those coaches for your business to do well. So how do you kind of navigate those coach education waters, so to speak?
Yeah, well, we're very lucky that we've got such a big history. Coerver's been around for 41 years, and we lean on our head office to really support us in our coach education. And just to become a Coerver coach, you have to go through a thorough process just to be able to step on the park for the first time. And for example, this I suppose this last 3 months I've been in Canberra 3 times. We've been up there for some private stuff in terms of private coach education.
Yeah.
Then we went up for the APAC camp, obviously, and then last week there was.
So what's the APEC?
Oh, sorry, the Asia Pacific Performance Camp,
Mm-hmm.
which 10 of our coaches went up and delivered that camp with the team up there. But the kids would have a few hours break during the day, and we'd go and do a 3-hour block of coach education. So. That was that one, and then just last weekend there was 6 of us that went up, more the senior coaches. We went up and did a 2-day youth diploma. So
Wow.
it's something that I'm really passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
I've got our technical director coming down in the first week of April. He's going to come and deliver a 2-day course just for our coaches. So there's a lot we're doing on our side, and then I suppose externally, particularly in the Geelong region, I can run the Coerver intro sessions, which are a really good foundational education program for mini roos particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Just teaching the fundamental skills, just ways to coach, little tricks, little tips that we have and we pick up on, and I honestly just don't think you get enough of it. I've done multiple Coerver diplomas. I've sat on the same diploma more than once. And the reason I do that is because every single time I just pick up something different from someone else, and you bring it home and you use it.
You're watching Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast, and we're with the director, managing director of Coerver Coaching Geelong, LEIJER. Now, Adrian, one thing that obviously Coerver Coaching Geelong has done is given you a full-time job in the industry, and you're providing that now opportunity to a lot of coaches as well here, senior coaches, younger coaches as well. We've seen probably in the last 2-3 years, there's been different academies also coming into Geelong, various academies. We've seen Western United as well. They've got a tournament coming up. They've got a development centre. But we've also seen a lot more, I guess, what's the word? Creating an industry. We're seeing the football industry in Geelong becoming an industry. And I guess the coaching and administration side of things is one of those things. How are you, from your point of view, how are you seeing the growth of the football industry in Geelong, both from a club level, but also a commercial level?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really interesting one, and I think for me, my position on it is there are so many kids out there that need extra support, and I think the biggest thing for us is, and what I want a lot of local clubs to understand is that we are a support network for your club. So we are developing kids, assisting their development, which is going to make your club better. Mm-hmm. And I still find there's a bit of reluctancy in terms of they view things like us as a competitor.
Why would that be? Because you don't play in any competition. You don't sort of compete against them. Why would that be the case?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a simple answer. I don't know. And I think the clubs and the people and the kids who have sort of embraced what we're about, they've seen the benefits. And ultimately, and what I say to my coaches, concentrate on what we're doing, do it really, really well, do it better than anyone else, and that includes the A-League clubs, it includes all the the competitors that are out there. A, because there's so many kids out there that you can't coach everyone, but B, if we deliver Coerver, which has been around for a long, long time, if we deliver our program to the levels that I expect, then I know that we're going to deliver an amazing program. We're going to see amazing development in kids. As I said before, kids like your son, for example, who's gone on to A-League, professional level. But also, a lot of kids are now sort of venturing into those Melbourne Victory Academies and things like that from our program into Geelong Galaxy, still doing both. And so we're supporting kids getting a really well-rounded football education, as you'd say, and I suppose closing that gap between just grassroots football and the professional level, and where that sort of that position in between, which can really help kids advance their development.
Yeah, and there always has been that little bit of a vacuum, and hence it's being filled where kids in I mean, I know parents of kids in Geelong were willing to take their kids up to Melbourne thinking that they'd get a better kind of enhancement to their kids' development by taking them up there. But now they've got a program here in Geelong, a quality program that allows them to do the exact same thing, and they don't have to travel so far. Getting back to, I guess, some of the clubs that have been a bit reluctant, but there are other clubs that have really embraced what you're taking on. I mean, you feel free to name the clubs. I'm sure they wouldn't mind, but you don't have to. But tell us at least some of the success stories that you've seen. Has that translated into some of these kids going back to their clubs and playing at a rep level, or has it seen the numbers of juniors at that particular club, say, grow because of what you guys are doing through Coerver?
Yeah, the obvious one for us is obviously Surf Coast FC, who is our partner club. And I think you look at the overall level of player. I'm talking average player. I'm not talking top player. I'm talking the overall player across the whole club, and our impact in that region has been enormous. It's been really significant in terms of the club partnership, but also we run a Wednesday night program, which is just our program, and we're getting on a Wednesday night. We're coaching upwards of 250 kids just on one night. So that starts at 4 years old, goes all the way to 16 years old, and the kids are they're getting their club training, they're getting their additional technical training with us. We're supporting the club on a Friday night, a Thursday night with the curriculum planning. We're providing their coaches a coach education.
So you're not only helping players from clubs, you're also helping coaches from clubs develop as well.
Yeah, and that's, for me, that's a really big challenge, because a lot of the parents come in and they put their hand up to coach. They don't have experience in soccer, in the round ball. Some of them they're challenged to grasp what it actually is. But we set up all the drills. We provide them a template of what to coach. We provide them videos what to coach, and we have one of our coaches on each pitch to assist them in that side of things as well. So if you're looking at a success story that's been going for 1 year, my vision for that is to carry that on for a number of years, and then we will see the real gems come through down the track, and there are some real gems down at Surf Coast, which I've seen, and I know, some of those kids do our performance academy, some do the Wednesday nights with us at our creative player program. They do their club, and then we push the better ones towards the Melbourne Victory and West United academies, because success for me is that they've been through our program and they move on to the bigger and better down the track.
Yeah, and look, one of the success stories at Surf Coast is the imminent, I guess, appearance of Surf Coast in the Community Premier League. So it's the girls' juniors, next step from the NPL girls' juniors competition. Surf Coast will be entering a team this year along with North Geelong. So that's something fantastic for the region. And finally, we've got like a team south of the Barwon, as they say, that's going to be playing, in quite an elite competition. So whether or not that could be directly attributed to Coerver coaching, I don't know. I'd like to think it has, but that is certainly one of the platforms that's going to allow it.
The world is yours. So work hard, and you can have whatever it is you want.
Mate, looking ahead to this year now, like we've talked about so much that's been achieved in the last year. Before we do, we haven't really touched on Geelong College. We're here at Geelong College, but that was another big highlight for you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it's 2024. That is.
It's an amazing school. We love coming here. The facilities are outstanding. We support all their their teams from the senior team all the way down to the grade 5s and 6s.
So this is in the private school league or competition?
Yeah, we assist with their training sessions and assist their teachers and try and set up their teams how we basically give some recommendations and some feedback and take their sessions for them during the week. So it keeps us busy.
Yeah.
And then we come in and do PE classes. We come in and we help them with the lightning pram and all those sort of things. So we're all hands on deck, and again, a fantastic partnership for us and different to the club partnership. It's it's school education, a lot of daytime work, supporting the teachers and the students, and again, a really fantastic school, and part of that is we get to use their facilities as well, which is
first class facilities at that. So now that we've talked about all the highlights in 2024, which have been quite numerous, looking ahead to the next 12 months, 2025, what's in store for Coerver coaching Geelong?
Yeah, it's exciting. We've kicked off our performance academy for 2025, and we've split that into 2 time slots now, which enables us to reach more kids and to provide a better offering, because the groups have become smaller and we get to spend more time with the kids. So that's awesome. So we've seen a decent increase in our numbers there, and the quality of the kids as well is always improving, which is awesome. In 6 weeks' time is our development camp. So again, we're basically going to replicate our Asia Pacific performance camp, and we're going to do it locally. We're going to have a few different twists and turns, and I'm always sort of looking for innovative ways to to reach the kids and to really engage the kids and provide a spark to them for what football can be. So we'll do that. That'll be a 4-day camp. A big 4 days.
Are you expecting kids from outside the region to be coming to that as well?
Longer term, yes.
Yep.
When we were in Canberra, there were a lot of kids that approached us and said, we'd love to come to Geelong and do something with you guys, because I think our coaches did an amazing job. So hopefully that we can attract kids from outside our region, but the main focus is our region, supporting our kids locally. And I want that, the first one that we do will be a lot of people just saying, okay, what's this? What's different? What's it all about? And then I think same with everything that we do. When people come, they're like, okay, this is really cool. Let's tell our friends. Let's all come back. So that's a really big one for me for this year. And then obviously our Summer Cup. Our Summer Cup last year, I think, was probably potentially the highlight. I think I knew I had a vision of what I wanted it to be. I don't think a lot of other people understood what that was. But we had Friday nights in Torquay. We had 600 players.
Wow.
The bar was packed. The restaurant was packed. We had live music. We had food vans. We had thousands of people watching. The kids was 5-a-side football, a heap of fun. And for me, that was a really, really cool tournament. So that one this year will go ahead again. That'll be term 4 down in Torquay, and I suppose I just need to brace myself for how many teams we get. But look, it's the thing, giving kids a platform, especially in 5-a-side, to just go and express themselves at a time where they're usually sitting at home, or they're at the beach, or they're playing cricket, or they're playing a different sport, which they don't have access to round ball. For me, to be able to provide that was pretty cool.
Fantastic, yeah. It's going to be a massive year. There's no doubt about that. But you did touch on the Canberra camp and the tournament up there, and there was quite a few Geelong kids that went there and excelled. And some of them even got selected or have been asked to go to a tour to Japan, I believe. Is that right?
Singapore,
is it? Yeah. Wow. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah. So it's I think there was 25 kids that went in the end. So we had a strong travelling party. I think we had about a 60 person party, and we organised a few lunches and we got together, and it was great because we all stayed in the same hotel. So the time off the park was awesome.
Yeah.
The kids having lunch with our coaches, and the kids in the sauna and the pool with our coaches. That was kind of the really special part of it.
Yeah.
Obviously the football is special, but that was just a nice little, I suppose, bonding experience for everyone. And Off the top of my head, I think there's been 9 that have been invited to Singapore.
Wow. Yep.
The older age group, they get to go to Real Madrid.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully my daughter's a couple of years older that we'll get invited there. But I'll be off to Singapore with my daughter, and there are a few others heading off as well. So,
and when's that happening? Later in the year?
No, that's Easter Sunday we leave.
Oh, wow.
So very soon. But I look back on, and it's what I love about our game. I look back on my career, and I was lucky enough to go to China when I think it was 12 or 13 years old. And I look back at that, and what that did for me in terms of my longer term development was outstanding. It was funny that I suppose 20 years after that I ended up playing professionally in China. But it just, those memories stayed with me because you sort of go over as a 12-year-old, you see, wow, I'm so lucky where I live. You see the level of football, you see all these amazing experiences. And then I went back there with Asian Champions League with Melbourne Victory, and it just helps you on that journey because you know what you're going into. I went back there with the Olyroos qualifying for Olympic Games and things like that, and all those experiences just add up. And for us to be able to provide overseas experiences like that for these kids, I just think it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. No, that sounds absolutely fascinating, absolutely awesome. And mate, we look forward to tracking all of the achievements that Coerver Coaching Geelong does throughout the year. I'm sure we'll be speaking to you on numerous occasions throughout the year, but we wish you all the very, very best, mate, in 2025. And once again, thank you so much for supporting the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast.
Thanks, Tonch, and thanks for supporting us as well.
Good on you. And that, folks, brings us to the end of our very first episode back for season 2025. In total, it's our 151st episode, and next week we'll be back on Monday night, I should say, Monday night at the usual time, and we will be back for at least 15 episodes. You may have read the post earlier today. Thank you to our sponsors, our business advertising sponsors. We still are seeking a major sponsor to anchor the program and to hopefully get us through to a full season of at least 25 episodes, but we'd love to have 30 episodes. So if you are a small business, if you are a major business, we'd love for you to get on board and become a major sponsor. Send us an email at communitysportsmedia@gmail.com if your business or the business that you work for is keen to find out a little bit more about what is involved in being a major sponsor. And before we do go, have you got what it takes to be a podcast presenter? Yes, we are actively seeking a co-host for the Geelong Region Soccer Show podcast. I'm sure you're sick of hearing my voice and just my voice. Unfortunately, the days of Steve Curtin being a co-host of mine, he was a special guest co-host on the very final episode of last year, but Steve's moved up to Melbourne, and as a result, we are seeking a co-host. So there is a little bit of remuneration included in the deal, and it usually involves about 3 to 4 hours on a Monday night. Once again, if you are interested, send us an email, communitysportsmedia@gmail.com. And before we go, let's quickly look at the fixtures for this weekend once again. The Men's Victorian Premier League 2 division, Altona City hosting our North Geelong Warriors, and Box Hill United playing home to our Geelong Soccer Club. The following day on Sunday, Geelong Galaxy, however, will play their first home game of the season at Myers Reserve, their new home ground, at 3 p.m, and that will be round 2 of the VPLW competition. And yes, the Men's State League competitions all kick off this weekend. And look at that. For the first time in a long, long time, there is a Geelong team in every one of the State League Northwest or West divisions, all the way from State League 1 with Coerver, State League 2 with Geelong Rangers, State 3 with Surf Coast, State 4, Deakin, Barwon, Lara and Bell Park, and State 5 with Ocean Grove. There are the various fixtures for this coming weekend. And, of course, the big match of the day, the first home derby or the first local derby of the season in State 4, Deakin Ducks, the newly promoted Deakin Ducks, taking on neighbouring Barwon Soccer Club. That's at Deakin Uni, and kickoff there is 3 p.m. with the reserves in the curtain raiser at 1 p.m. Folks, that's it from me. Thank you for being a part of our first show back for 2025. And once again, a huge thank you to our major business advertising sponsors, Just Turfing, Instant Turf, and Coerver Coaching Geelong. Good night, and see you next Monday night at 8 p.m.